What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review, and this time we're taking a look at Bullet Train, adapted from the Kōtarō Isaka novel Maria Beetle. The story follows this hitman named Ladybug, who is on the fastest train in the world, as he has to accomplish a mission. While trying to accomplish said mission, pretty much every assassin from all walks of life are on this train, and they're out to get Ladybug because in his possession is this mysterious briefcase that needs to go to this mysterious character known as the White Death. So yeah, that's the overall story of Bullet Train. Let's try and speed right along this review. Overall, I really enjoyed Bullet Train. I've now seen this movie twice, and I can honestly say this is a refreshing movie. This movie is a good blend of action, a good blend of comedy, and it just has a slew of very talented actors who look like they're having fun. And one of the things we don't get a lot in modern action movies is just a sense of fun. Now, does that make Bullet Train perfect? No. There are some things in it that I didn't really care for. There are certain things that I would have extended upon. But as an overall package, I thought David Liddiich from the John Wick franchise did a decent job at directing this movie. I liked his work in Deadpool 2, and it's no different here. He brought that same, kinetic energy to this movie. And you have outstanding cinematography by Jonathan Sella, who did the first John Wick movie and Deadpool 2. So, let me just get the production aspects out of the way first, since I already touched upon it. From a production standpoint, I have no complaints. The movie is beautiful to look at. Some of the CGI, it's really spotty in a lot of areas, particularly in the third act when the bullet train breaks apart and causes destruction all over Kōtarō. The CGI could have been done much better. But the use of practical effects in this movie, I thought were actually pretty good and very well done. I thought the action sequences were really well choreographed. They have the right amount of just over-the-top violence and a comedic element to them, which I thought was really well done. And you have the actors who I thought played their roles exceptionally well. Brad Pitt as the character of Ladybug, I liked him. I liked Brad Pitt in this movie. I've been a fan of Brad Pitt for a long time. I'm one of those people who think that Brad Pitt can handle almost any role. I know a lot of people that I know who said, "Oh, Brad Pitt in an action movie, I can't buy that." Well, you've never seen Seven, you've never seen Fight Club, you've never seen Inglourious Bastards. Those are action movies that Brad Pitt was in, and he did exceptionally well in them. This movie is no exception. The character of Ladybug having this quirk of wanting to handle this mission in a peaceful way without having to resort to violence, while also suffering from by also having an anxiety complex, I thought was actually really well done. And Brad Pitt did a good job of bringing a lot of humor to the character of Ladybug. He works for me in this movie. He was a lot of fun to watch. In the supporting cast that surrounds him, you have Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian Tyree Henry as the characters of Tangerine and Lemon. These two hitmen that are brothers. These guys are a lot of fun together. Their bantering is hilarious. The whole shtick of Lemon having an obsession with Thomas the Tank Engine and being able to read people and correlate them to the characters of Thomas the Tank Engine was absolutely hysterical. And then you have the character of Tangerine, who looks like this gruff British bruiser, but Aaron Taylor Johnson gives him a lot of personality and a lot of charisma, and he uses his actual British accent, which adds a lot to the character overall. My favorite scene with the two hitmen is when we get a flashback to them trying to apprehend the son of the White Death, and they're pretty much killing everybody while keeping a kill count, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. So yeah, the characters of Tangerine and Lemon, I like them a lot. I think they have a good story with one another. And Henry and Taylor and Johnson just have really good on-screen chemistry with one another that you actually believe that they're real life stepbrothers. That's how well they mesh together, to me at least. And then you have other additions like Bad Bunny, who plays a character called the Wolf. I like the whole story of the Wolf character who was out to get Ladybug because Ladybug poisoned. Because when the Wolf character was getting married to the love of his life, Ladybug had infiltrated that wedding, and of course, the Wolf, knew that Ladybug was there, and thus he's out for revenge. Of course, it's revealed later on in the movie that it was actually this character known as the Hornet who poisoned everybody at that wedding. But I like the fight scene with with the Wolf and Ladybug. I thought it was very entertaining. I thought it was actually really, really short. The thing barely goes 3 to 4 minutes. I would have extended it by at least another 3 minutes at the most, and I would have given Bad Bunny a little bit more screen time and have him do a little bit more. Have him have more of a back and forth bantering with Ladybug. But I like the overall story of the Wolf character. I thought Bad Bunny, who is not an experienced actor, did a decent job. His facial expressions matched what his character was going through and feeling. You know, when he was saying dialogue, it worked for the most part. It wasn't perfect because he's not an experienced actor, but he did fine. Like, when you use celebrities in movies like this, the only way to maximize them, not all of them, because some musicians can actually form into actors and be damn good at it. See LL Cool J, see Mark Wahlberg. But Bad Bunny, since he's not experienced, the minimal use of him in terms of acting, you get the most out of him, and you were able to get the most out of him, and it worked for the most part. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I would have extended upon the fight scene just a little bit more because you could have gotten more comedic mileage out of it. Though him throwing the dagger and it ricocheting off the briefcase and then killing him, and then him falling on the briefcase, snapping his neck was freaking hilarious. So it was not unintentionally hilarious; it was intentionally hilarious. So I enjoyed that. The character of the Hornet, played by Zazie Beetz. I'm a fan of Zazie Beetz as an actress. I like her. I enjoyed her in Domino. She plays this character known as the Hornet, who has this poisonous snake on the train, and she has an entertaining fight scene with Ladybug. This fight doesn't really go that much. Doesn't go that long either. It goes about 2 to 3 minutes at the most. But Zazie Beetz, for the most part, makes the most of it, and she has this quirk of calling her character a bitch every 5 seconds. Like every other word, she's calling Ladybug a bitch. It's hilarious, and I like the whole thing of her disguising herself as like this children's mascot throughout the course of the movie, and constantly getting put in these positions where she's constantly getting knocked out and punched because she's also trying to get this briefcase. So, I thought that scene was also pretty funny and handled decently. Like I said, I think the Wolf and the Hornet could have had more extended fight scenes. You could have gotten more out of it. That's just me personally. You got this whole thing of this little kid played by Joey King, who is pretty much like the mastermind behind all this thing. Now, her inclusion into this, the character of Joey King's inclusion into this is that she is revealed to be the daughter of the White Death, and she pretty much orchestrated a lot of things that took place on the train for the most part. Her main thing is that she's after this man played by Andrew Koji. So the character of Andrew Koji is after the Joey King character because his son was pushed off the roof. When he finds out that Joey King was the one who did it, of course, Joey King holds that against him and pretty much threatens his son's life. While all the while, you have Andrew Koji's dad, played by Hiroku Sanada, the elder, who is a former member of the Yakuza and has a strong connection to the White Death. And I'll get to all that stuff in a little bit. But pretty much, since the grandfather had Yakuza ties, he made sure that his grandson was not going to be harmed. And I like this whole, the stuff with Joey King, it can get convoluted in a lot of areas because they tried to I think David Lidiach and his writer tried a little too much to include this character in there, and that some aspects got too convoluted for its own good, but they tried to make it make sense, so I give them credit. I give them a little bit of credit. So pretty much we did, you get the acting in this movie is all top notch. A lot of the characters are very memorable to me. Then we get to then you get to the climax where we get to the White Death, played by Michael Shannon. I like the whole story of the White Death, actually. I like the flashbacks that include the White Death. I like how they tied the elder, Sonata's character, to the White Death. You can see it coming from a mile away the second you see the origin story, but it works, and I like how it ties in. Pretty much, the White Death, after he betrayed the Yakuza, the Yakuza, he pretty much wiped everybody out, and he left Sonata's character for death, but he also killed his wife, but he didn't kill his son. And from that moment on, Sonata's character's main motivation is to get revenge for the things that he lost against the White Death. Now, the White Death, he's also lost things as well. He lost his wife because a prominent surgeon could have had the chance to save his wife's life, but he was killed by the Hornet, hence why the Hornet was on the train. the reason why the twins are on this train was because of a botched job that took place in Bolivia. And like I said, Joey King's whole thing is that she's the daughter of the White Death, and her goal is to kill her father because in her mind, her father never noticed her and always chose her fuck-up brother, played by Logan Lerman, over her. So it was pretty much just jealousy. But like I said, I like how they were able to tie up these storylines, all connect to the White Death, which pretty much props him up to be this major villain. And for the limited amount of screen time that Michael Shannon has, I liked him as the character. He came across as intimidating. He and Sonata had a very interesting final battle that could have easily been expanded upon more than what it really was, but it had the right amount of drama, and it had some dread to it a little bit. And like I said, and you have two very good actors in Shannon and Sonata who acted really, really well off one another. Speaking of which, before we get to the White Death, Brad Pitt and Sonata share a scene together where Sonata's pretty much telling Ladybug his origin story, and I liked it. I liked the scene between these two. It worked, and they got the inclusion of Andrew Koji's character, the father, in there as well, along with the character of Lemon, and these four become their own little group to try and take down the White Death. Now, before that, Lemon's brother Tangerine got killed off by Joey King's character after Tangerine pretty much put two and two together and realized that Joey King was the Diesel because of a sticker that Lemon put on the back of her head. Of course, this happened when Lemon was supposedly killed, but he really wasn't, because he had drank this water that pretty much made him pass out, and then he was wearing a bulletproof vest while he was being shot at. But I like that whole scene of that happening. Pretty much, Joey King did not kill Tangerine. It was when Tangerine and Ladybug got into a fight, and the gun went off during that fight. I mean, yeah, the trigger was pulled by Ladybug, but not the intent to kill him. But Joey King character was the one that led to the demise anyway. But I like how Lemon, he does have a lot of resentment towards the Ladybug character, but he's able to work with him, and I like the banter between the two as well. They form like a begrudging partnership, which played really well into the climax. So everything, and now we're gonna wrap everything up. So yeah, you get the final battle with the White Death. He eventually dies by shooting a gun that was rigged by his daughter. Then Joey King, she makes her final speech saying, "I'm the White Death, I'm the White Death," before getting run down by a Tangerine truck, which is revealed to have been driven by Lemon, because earlier on Lemon had tackled somebody off the train into the lake, pretty much implying that Lemon died. But a mid-credit scene shows that he survived and was the one driving the Tangerine truck to take out the Joey King character. And then it's revealed that this mysterious person that Ladybug's been talking to throughout the course of the film is actually played by Sandra Bullock. She makes a nice appearance at the end, and they walk off after their car gets destroyed by a lamp pole. And before that, we have a nice cameo by Ryan Reynolds as a character called Carver, who the White Death initially wanted to kill, and he mistakenly thought that Ladybug was Carver. That was it. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, this review was very disjointed. I didn't cover a lot. Hopefully I covered enough to make it make sense. But I thought Bullet Train was a very good movie. I enjoyed it a lot. Despite some nitpicks here and there, I recommend it. Give it a watch. You will not be disappointed. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. So those are my thoughts on Bullet Train. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe. And I'll check you back next time for more.